Science Beetle.
All right, so welcome back, students. In this video, I want to go show you a very quick function that can help eliminate some of the items in a list. So let's go ahead and declare a list over here on the left-hand side. Let's go ahead and say my underscore list. This is the name I used before. So let's go ahead and say here, let's create a quick list here. Let's just use numbers this time around. Let's say that I want to take 1, 2, 3, and leave it like that. Let's say that I want to do 1, 2, 3. Now you don't have to have spaces in between. You could just separate them with the comma. All of that will be fine. And let's kind of show and demonstrate that here. We'll put print, and then we'll put my list inside the parentheses. And if we run that to the console, notice here we get the list. It's going to automatically give you a separation. If I were to come in here and put a space in between and run the code again, we get the same exact thing. So it doesn't really matter if you have spaces there. The thing I want to show you here with this particular command is, what if I wanted to adjust my list? What if I wanted to add? I showed you that in the last video, and say list, and I wanted to add here. Let's say that I wanted to add here at the very end. Let's say that I wanted to add a very specific space. Let's say I want to add it at the very end, which is at the -1 position. Close the brackets and then assign it. And let's say here that I would just wanted to add the word end. And if I add that to the end, and let's go ahead and run that, it already did it to the console. Let's go ahead and use the print command over here on the left hand side. We'll put print, and then we'll put in my underscore list, close the parentheses and run it, and we should see at the very end the word end. Now notice what happened here. When I just put the -1 position, what happened was that it replaced the value at the end, which was the 3. I don't want that. So what I wanted to go ahead and do here is, instead of adding a -1 to replace, what I want to do is I want to go back and adjust this code, because I want to add the word end, or the string end. I want to add that to the very end. So instead of doing an assignment for -1, what I want to do here is I want to do an append. So I want to put .append, and in the append function, what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and put the word end in parentheses, put the brackets, close the parentheses, and when you do that, the append function will allow you to add a new element to the list at the very end, and so that avoids the replacement of the value 3. And so when we run it again, notice the 3 reappears, but now end appears at the very end. Okay, so that's how you add something to the console. Now, I was here to show you the pop function, so let's go ahead and show you what that means. So now that we've got the list amended with the word end at the very end, let's say that I want to get rid of the end. I don't want the string there anymore. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and say my list, and I can actually say here .pop in parentheses, and inside the parentheses, what you're going to put in there is you're going to put the element that you wish to remove. Since end already shows up at the very end of the list as one of the values, I can actually put here, now I can use the -1, and in this particular case on line number 9, what's going to happen is that the function pop is going to remove the element at position -1. And so whatever that is, in this case it's the word end, that string, it will be removed. So if we run this, you can see here, let's see here, it's already been done, but it doesn't show it to the screen because I have not printed the command. So I'll need to put in print one more time, put my underscore list, close the parentheses and run it again, and notice the word end is no longer there. So that's the way you would do that. What if I wanted to use pop at a different location? Can I remove anything? Well, yeah, using the pop function allows you to remove elements at any particular position. Say that I wanted to remove here the number 2. So here it would not be a -1. I would come in here and I would say, okay, well, let's go ahead and create another line, because we've already gotten that code. We want to go ahead and keep everything we've done so far. We'll paste here at line 12, and instead of a -1 for the pop, we're going to put the position of 1. Now it should remove the 2. If I run the code now, notice here I'm now left with a 1 and a 3. And so that's the way that you can remove stuff. You can use the pop. There is another way. And so I'll go ahead and modify this here at the very top. You can actually use the delete function. And so, or the delete statement is the way you would do it. So, but the delete statement is actually slightly different. And so let me show you how that's done. Instead of doing the pop at a very specific location, you can do it a different way. You begin with the word, or the the statement here, the declaration of del for delete, and you're going to essentially delete from my underscore list, which is the list name, and now you're going to declare what specific position you want, but you're going to do that in brackets. And so in this particular case, let's say that I want to get rid of the number 1, so I would put there in the 0 position. I want to get rid of that number 1, and so we should have the number 3 left over when we run it. Let's just cut to the chase here and put the print command in the final line, open and close, and then we're going to say here my underscore list, and it should give you the 3 as the final number, and that's the sole value that's printed now. So those are some ways that you can actually modify lists to get rid of values at a very specific position, either using the pop function or using the delete command, which is another way of deleting items from a list. So join us as we continue to explore Python. We'll see you in the next video.